Hello and welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly, an in-depth look at Cuesta College athletics. I'm your host, Peter Schuler, and on this month's show, we'll be joined by Cuesta water polo assistant Eric Marsh and All-State player Aidan Feigel. We'll also welcome women's poloists Daci, Hughes, and Salizar. And just before we leave, we are going to steal a few moments with City to Sea director Brian Locher and coordinator Michelle Zulum-Clark. To start, we'll go with the men's water polo. Cougars are off to a great start. We're chasing their 37th straight playoff berth. We have Coach Eric Marsh and Aidan Feigel here to join us. Thank you, gentlemen. Welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly. Again, Eric, you've been a part of this. You're back here after spending some time at the University of the Pacific, chasing the program's 37th conference title or playoff berth. You've been a part of a couple as a player. What's going on with the program here? We're moving forward here, chasing another one.
Right now, we're just building. It's a learning process. We're setting up a new style of offense, a new style of defense. So getting them in shape, and we're really just taking them step by step right now. We're just, gradually getting them to understand to play the Cougar way, really. We're trying to incorporate this new offense and this new defense. So really right now, it's a learning stage for them.
Now, you have a very, very young team. Only have a couple of sophomores on the team. Aidan was an All-State player last year, the team MVP. This year he's redshirting. How is that for you, Aidan? Is that difficult to sit on the sidelines?
No, it's just a little different, I'd say. Kind of having to take the leadership role from the sideline rather than actually being in the pool. But it hasn't been too difficult.
Now you're still feeling your experience and your level of play. You can still lead with this group, even though when it comes to game time, you have to sit and watch.
Definitely.
Now you're back as a coach. Is having someone like Aidan and some of the other red shirts, is that kind of have an extra assistant coach all the way through, or?
Yeah, as you can see, sometimes I'll get in the pool and help from in the water, but having these guys as leaders inside the pool helps me and Coach Marsh, my father, as well, so much more, because we can demonstrate from outside the pool, but then if they don't understand it, the leaders like Aidan and a couple other redshirt sophomores can get in the pool and actually demonstrate in the water what to do, and then it helps us that way as well.
Now, you came in your last year out of having a successful career at Sanger High.
Yeah.
What was some of the things that decided you to come? Well, I'm sure there's many things, but what was the deciding factor for you coming from the valley over here to the coast? Well,
actually, funny thing is, I could have gone and played, 4-year right out of high school, but the biggest thing for me was I didn't want a red shirt, funny enough. So coming out of high school, I was thinking, I want to play water polo, and all these teams were saying, we're kind of wanting to think about red shirting you. And I was like, what? No, I just want to play water polo. But funny thing is, it's harder to get out of school in 4 years than you think. So.
And is that the major factor in your red shirting? Or,
yeah.
Or is that kind of like stockpiling for next year?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Also, I'm kind of set on going to play for a 4-year, and so if I were to play out this year and stay a 3rd year at Cuesta, it would kind of be like a weird transition where I'm not really playing polo. So it's just better to go from playing next year, going and playing again at a 4-year than a year after.
Now you were at UOP, University of Pacific, helped them to the runner-up finish at the NCAA championships. Pretty amazing experience for you, I'm sure. But they had also done the same thing with a couple of the players. You had redshirted your first year there. They had a couple other players and kind of geared up for that big season where they almost won the national title. Is that kind of what your coach is thinking there? Maybe you can kind of stockpile and groom another group this year?
Exactly, yeah. My coach at University of Pacific, he took all our seniors that, the year that they were going to be seniors, it wasn't going to be the brightest of years for us, but he decided to redshirt them and make it a building year for the incoming kids and the younger guys. And he took those seniors and say, hey, for your senior season, we're going to go compete for a national championship. And that's what we did. We went out and competed for the NCAA title against USC, and we had a tough loss in the championship game to USC in overtime. And hey, I look back at that moment as one of the best moments I've ever had.
All right. Now you have a year to develop right now.
Yep.
What were the things, just coming from high school and your freshman year, what were the things you saw develop, and what are those things that you're trying to use in your redshirt year for?
The biggest thing is how much bigger and more physical these guys are at the college level. You get in the pool in high school and you're pretty much able to dominate every player you go against, but then you come to college and there's guys you're playing against who we had last year, who's 6'8", 6'9" on our team, and it's just hard to be physically at the same level as them. So the biggest thing is just get stronger, you know. The skills and all that, at this level, everyone can shoot the ball just as hard, everyone's just as fast, but it's all about game smarts and just getting bigger.
Now, you get to see this young group coming in right now. What would you say? What is your critical analysis of this team and how they're developing and what you want to see for the players that you're going to play with next year?
Yeah, the biggest thing, also just the reason I wanted to play from high school to college is, you just want 6 guys in the pool that know exactly what they're doing. So for next year, we just want to develop 6 other strong guys that know exactly what's going on, know exactly the Cuesta offense and defense. But the group we have right now is looking strong. Actually, looking, I'd say, better than the team we had last year. So.
Okay. And you're a group of, you have 3 other red shirts as well. So you have a very strong sophomore core coming back hopefully next year. And as a coach, this year you guys have come out. You're 6-3, 4-0 to start the season, but you had the very tough home tournament. It's always one of the toughest in the year, and you played. You played 4 state semifinalists in the last weekend, and come out 6-3. How do you see this team's developments coming along, and what are you expecting on the season as it goes along?
So far, from week 1 to week 6, I think we're in right now, or week 8, we've improved tenfolds. We went in week 1 up at the West Valley tournament thinking we're just going to play and see how we're playing and, build from that. And we played well along through the tournament. And then as soon as this tournament started, we saw improvement from that end of that tournament to the start of this tournament. And that's just because we're working hard in the pool every day. We're coming to practice with the right mind, coming into the weight room with the right mind, and we're understanding what we need to do and when we need to do it now. So,
now, this is just kind of something you've gone on. San Luis Obispo is a smaller water polo community than some of the other down south or up north areas, even Sanger. What are the things that you feel helped you on your way up to the 4-year level at Cuesta College, and what would you say to another student when you're recruiting Aidan or another student coming in?
Just listen, work hard every time you get in the pool, every chance you have. Say if you don't play, you just work your butt off really in the pool every time you get a chance, and from there you just got to keep working, try to improve yourself. So.
All right. So those are the things that you developed. That's what helped you get just having that opportunity to grow and do those things.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Aidan Feigel, and Coach Eric Marsh. Thank you for joining us here at Cuesta Sports Monthly. Good luck on reaching the playoffs for the 37th consecutive year. That's quite a feat. So, men's water polo here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. When we come back, we'll take a look at women's water polo. We'll be joined by Daci, Hughes, and Tara Salizar when Cuesta Sports Monthly returns.
Cuesta.edu. Television, radio, broadcast, communications. Explore the world of digital communication and tap into your creative genius. Television, radio, broadcast, communications.
This is your boy, the DUI, and you're listening to KGUR.org.
Your digital future is at Cuesta College right now. Log on to Cuesta.edu now for enrollment dates and class information.
Don't get the boom in the shot. Blowing it, bro.
Cuesta.edu.
We're back on campus with Cuesta Sports Monthly. I'm Peter Schuler. We are joined by freshman women's poloists Daci Hughes and Tara Salizar. Women's water polo has opened the season with a promising 10-2 start and looking for a strong season so far. I'd like to welcome Daci and Tara to Cuesta Sports Monthly. You guys are both freshmen on a team with only 2 sophomores. So we have an inexperienced team this year. How are you guys adjusting so far with leadership role? Because even as starters, you're going to have to take a leadership role in this team.
Well, it's definitely difficult not having like a solid like leadership, like with only having 1 or 2 people being in leadership. So it's a lot of like Indians following chiefs, and it's a lot of new learning, and it's a lot of, you have to be very patient and very like understanding of people not necessarily knowing what we're doing. You have to be very like helpful in coaching and definitely take role in being a leader.
But they're definitely being good examples to us for next year, for sure.
Right, we're definitely establishing yourselves now.
Yeah.
One of the things, Tara, you're from Modesto, and Daci, you're in from Bountiful, Utah.
Yes.
I love that name. But one of the things Cuesta College is kind of known for is a community college that draws from all over the world, basically. 60% of our athletes are from out of the area, and about the same amount of students. Coming from out of the area to Cuesta College, have you felt more comfortable because you're amongst other people who are transitioning like you?
Well, coming from Utah to California, it was definitely a big change. It's a lot more aggressive in polo, and there's definitely, everyone's equal, which I think is great. So yeah, there's definitely a big change with that. But it's really fun to be around people that are going through the same thing and coming from different places as well.
I definitely felt more welcomed here. Like, there wasn't as many cliques like as you would have somewhere where like all the people have played on a team before. It was very like we were all brand new. We were all here in this together, basically. So we all like started from the same spot and like grew up like together as a team. Yeah.
Now, one of the things you were your own league's most valuable player as year. Was it a tough transition coming over here because you were kind of the top dog there, and now you're the newbie. Kind of everybody has to figure each other out.
Yeah, it was definitely a big transition. I was definitely well known in my town, and like I was well known on my team. I was definitely a strong player in our league, but like coming to somewhere where everyone has the same experience, everyone is just as good, everyone is fast, everyone's hard shots, you definitely have to like take a step back and like realize that you're good in your town maybe, but like coming here you have to just start from scratch and just realize that you need to start over here.
Now, how about in Utah? How's that transition coming for you?
Yeah, well, I was one of the top players in the state this past year in Utah, so it was definitely a fun experience to come here. And like Tara was saying, everyone's equal, everyone's a lot faster, especially a little bit faster than me. And it was interesting to come as one of the stronger players and be the same as everybody else, and all have to work and grow together. So that was interesting, very fun.
Now, have you felt the development change and just playing against different players? And
yeah, for sure.
It's here in California, it's a much more,
aggressive.
Well, but it's also a much more prevalent sport than it is in Utah.
For sure.
It's kind of a major sport over here.
Yeah.
Less so in the mountains, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not very well known in Utah at all.
So, what was it for you that got you into water polo?
I was actually a lifeguard at the local pool, and I had to lifeguard one of the water polo games, and I watched the whole thing. I stayed in chair the entire about hour, and I decided this is something I want to try. This is something I want to do. And I started playing my sophomore year of high school and never looked back. It was something I always loved.
And now for you, in Modesto, there's a pretty good swim community. It gets hot there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, is that kind of one of the things that brought you in?
Honestly, yeah. My freshman year, I missed volleyball tryouts, and water polo needed people, and I loved swimming, and I didn't even know water polo existed. So I was like, well, they need people, and I like to swim. So it was definitely a wide awakening, though. I did not realize how much I'd fall in love with it, and like how different a sport it is.
Now, you came over here partially for the water polo, but also the nursing program and some of the other things. What are kind of your goals as you're here at Cuesta College?
My goals are a lot up in the air right now. I'm not really sure. Definitely nursing and water polo are my main focuses, but from there, I'm not really sure.
And Daci, you came over here as mostly water polo was the focus on your trip over here.
Yeah, that's my plan. I do want to be a teacher, so I'm also focusing on that, but water polo is my number one thing right now.
Now, coming into the college atmosphere, was there kind of a cultural change for you? I mean, coming from Utah to
well, it's
California.
a lot hotter here. But I used to vacation here a lot, and I have friends and family in the area, so I know the area pretty well, but it's definitely different living here than just being on vacation.
Are you kind of on a permanent vacation at this point?
Yeah, the best.
Now, what other sports? You were originally, you played a little bit of basketball and then?
Yeah, my sophomore year of high school, I played volleyball and then basketball and then water polo. And then my junior year, I played water polo, basketball, water polo. And then my senior year, I played water polo, swimming, and water polo. So I just kind of narrowed my focus in on water polo.
Okay, so then you'll be swimming next spring and,
Yes.
and beyond that.
Hopefully.
And so both of you guys were actually transitioning for volleyball players. You were
Yeah.
a volleyball player mostly, and then you were a volleyball basketball player, and moving on. What kind of are your goals coming out of water polo? Do you have a specific thing you want to do with it? Do you want to play at the next 4-year level, or are you not sure? Or?
I definitely want to go on and play at a 4-year level in water polo. That's my ultimate goal right now. It's what I'm working for. So hopefully the team and I can work together in everyone building each other up.
Yeah, I would definitely love to play at a 4-year level. I think it would be an amazing experience, and hopefully I don't get limitations to it. But I would love it.
So this year the team started off pretty hot, 10-2 to start the season. A couple of tough losses, but the rest of the time the team's been putting it together. You're kind of heading into the middle of the season right now. What are kind of your outlooks, and where do you see the team going, and where are you most happy with the team's development?
I really think that we are developing a really good, strong teamwork, like a core team, and I think that those 2 losses were because we weren't coherent, we weren't being a team, we weren't working together, and I think as the games go on, we definitely improve in that area, and we're learning each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we're learning where people are going to be in the pool, and where you need to get the ball. We're definitely coming together, so I think we're definitely going to start doing really well.
Yeah, and for a team that's mostly freshmen with everyone coming from different locations, like Tara said, we've been working together hard, and we've been trying to get a feel for everybody to work together. So exactly what you said.
Yeah, if you look at the roster, there's 14 people from 12 different high schools, from San Diego to Utah to the Bay Area. It's a pretty diverse group. I think that's one of the best things about Cuesta College, because you're not going to Modesto Junior College, nothing against Modesto Junior College, but you're getting that full experience of San Luis Obispo. Both of you guys are living on your own kind of in San Luis Obispo. How is that transition just from home to, and this is kind of a question more what would you say are the positives and negatives of this transition for you at such a young age to new students coming in?
Well, just some of the positives are it's not oh, I feel free, but I'm just kind of can do things on my own. I can be more independent, which has definitely taught me to make really good choices and to stick with my morals, things that I believe in. And for that's mostly the positives for me. Some of the downsides, I'm free. I can do whatever I want.
You can eat all you want, or tiramisu, or whatever you want.
Exactly.
I love it. I feel so independent, and I feel like I'm being forced to learn things that I would not be able to learn on my own. I learned to make my own dinner, which is something you wouldn't think is hard, but it definitely gets difficult. And buying your own groceries, that's definitely something that's difficult. But I love being on my own. I love it.
Well, Daci, Tara, thank you very much for joining us here on Cuesta Sports Monthly, and good luck to the women's water polo the rest of the way as we experience and improve the rest of the way. So. That's it for women's water polo here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. When we'll come back, we'll take a look at the City to Sea. We're joined by City to Sea Director Brian Locher and Coordinator Michelle Zulum-Clark when we return here on Cuesta Sports Monthly.
This program is produced by Cuesta Broadcasting. Start your radio, TV, and film career at Cuesta College.
We're back with City to Sea Director Brian Locher here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. The City to Sea Half Marathon is scheduled for October 11th. And we have Brian here to talk about a little bit about our event here. It's a Cuesta sponsored program. And tell us a little bit about what's going on with the City to Sea this year.
Pretty excited. We're actually changing our course this year slightly. So we have
same
a course.
Distance.
Same distance, of course, 13.1 miles, still finishing at Dinosaur Caves Park, still starting on Higuera and Court Street in San Luis Obispo. This year, we're getting back onto the Bob Jones Trail. So those who've been long-time City to Sea runners will remember part of this course from back before 2007. And we felt like it was a good opportunity this year to make the course even safer than it has been, even more runner-friendly than it has been, and to get back on the Bob Jones Trail.
Now the Bob Jones Trail, you're going to pick that up somewhere after Higuera. You cut across and get on the Bob Jones Trail. Now is that going to create a bottleneck or anything, or is that going to be wide enough for?
No, it should be plenty of room by that point. It'll be up to an hour running for most people, probably farther at that point, about 8 miles in the
spread
course.
Themselves out as
yeah, and they'll only be on there for a mile, so it goes from mile 8 to mile 9 is actually on the Bob Jones Trail.
Okay, so that's kind of a nice change and probably a little bit safer, like you said. Dinosaur caves is always a great thing. What's kind of things you make it great at Dinosaur Caves?
It's always the finishing on the bluffs. You know, having that ocean behind you when you finish, this big green grass lawn in front of you with thousands of other participants finishing at the same time. You know, another thing that we do that a lot of races don't do is provide a breakfast. We've got 2 cooks catering, providing breakfast for us again this year. It's going to be a fantastic dish of everything you love about your typical breakfast at home. We have the kids run, which is also great because it's a family-friendly event. We're able to get our moms, our dads, everybody's going to be out there, and they've got something for their kids to do at the same time to stay fit and healthy.
Yeah, they're exhausted. Better get the kids a little tired out as
well,
right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to run those kids around.
I think that's probably one of the best things about finishing at Dinosaur Caves is as you've slogged through downtown San Luis all the way across, and then get a little ocean breeze in that last little bit of the race there.
Yeah, no matter how hot it's been before that, and usually not that bad, but yeah, you definitely get an ocean breeze, and it feels great to be there at the finish.
Now, one of the cool things I think is running downtown. Is that hard for you guys to get going, or is that
it's probably one of the safest parts of our event, actually.
I guess because Higuera does get closed down often.
Yeah, well, we get a lot of. There's typically a lot of car traffic downtown, but at that point in the morning at 7 o'clock, there's not that much going on down there. And we've done a great job of staffing each intersection along Higuera with volunteers to keep our participants safe. And they do, it's that 4 miles from the start of Higuera and Court Street all the way to Johnson Ranch. Just goes downhill, and people love that part of the course. It's beautiful.
Now, how many participants are you looking at having this year in the big race?
We fill up at about 2,000 participants. We're getting close to that mark, still looking for more participants to get involved. So there are open registrations at this point. We have about 2 weeks left right now.
Now, is that city2c.org or is that?
Yeah, city2c.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to join the City2C, make sure you go to City2. The C race and join up there, and there's still a couple spots, and also we have the shorter race as well. So, yeah, the 13.1.
Right, when we have our 5K also. Okay. So 5K winds around the downtown communities of Shell Beach in Pismo, ocean views galore, really beautiful course as well, and they all the same perks as the half marathon. Fantastic breakfast and finish.
So you kind of have the point to get together 3 races on one day. You have the 5K, the half marathon.
Yeah, we've got our half marathon
and those little scamps got to get wrestled in there too.
Yeah, 4th Mile Kids Run.
So it's a big race. It's got a lot of sponsors, and of course the races. A lot of the teams work on the race. What are kind of some of the things that Cuesta College helps with the City2C race?
We source all of our volunteers from Cuesta College. So we have over 250 people that volunteer on the day of the race. And they come from every different sport at Cuesta College. We've got water polo involved, women's soccer, the men's and women's basketball teams, men's and women's track and field and cross country. You've got softball. So every team that's out there is participating in City2C in some way or another.
So it's a real athletic event. Everybody's part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we started this last year, and I think it's a great part to get volunteers into the race, but also to help sponsor our teams here at Cuesta and support them.
I think you're right. I think it's great that the students who are benefiting from this are also participating in that.
Absolutely.
Sort of things.
Yeah.
But you also have sponsorships from outside. So what are some of the sponsors you have this year?
Running Warehouse is always our biggest sponsor. We actually host our packet pickup there on the Saturday before the event day. Some of our other big sponsors at this point is Fluid. They provide all the on-course supplements, thousands of dollars worth of their product. Wallace Group is an engineering firm in town. They've been involved with City2C for many, many years. We've got a lot of great sponsors who are getting involved this year, and new ones. We're always looking for new ones all the time, and we've got a lot of great people involved.
Now, San Luis Obispo has a great running community. You're in the middle of cross-country season. Is that tough for you to kind of teaching full time,
I
coaching
actually feel
a team?
like I do everything. It's tiring. I'm not getting as much sleep as I usually do, but I'm able to manage it all. So I'm happy about doing that. I mean, being productive. We have a great team this year with cross country. We just took our men took 9th at our regional championships. Our women did well also, and we're looking for bigger things in the future. And classes are also going well.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think is the best thing about this? I mean, San Luis Obispo has such a great running community. You've got such a great running program right there. What are the things that really make City to Sea kind of the premier race on the Central Coast?
It's our longevity. We've been around for 20 years, longer than any other coast race on the Central Coast. So that's the thing that we take the most pride in, is continuing to run a good event for our community. And we have almost 60% of our community members or 60% of our participants are community members participating in the race. So we like to continue to cater back to our event, and then we try not to take out too much, right? I mean, the breakfast is a big part of what we do, and a lot of other people don't do it, and we like doing it because it helps to, it's something that's always been a staple for City to Sea.
Now, so you have all those things. You also are running another race up in Cambria, and you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I run Castle to Coast.
That's a spring race, right?
That's going to take place in January, the third Saturday in January this year.
So people can run off their holidays a little bit.
Yeah. It's a perfect race for that. They have those New Year's resolution races. That's exactly what it is. It's sort of an erroneous distance, 8.2 miles, but it starts in San Simeon and ends in Cambria. We register 300 participants for that race every year, and it sells out within 2 days. And those funds can go back to help our cross-country and track and field teams too.
Now, you said you had a few spots left open in the City to Sea.
Yes.
A smaller group up the Castle of the Coast. Are are you able to expand those races if you want to, or is that kind of a strong
City to
cap?
Sea could be. I think one of the reasons we haven't is just, we want to make the race as good as we can with the number of participants we can. The bigger the race gets, the more management issues you might be able to run into. We're doing a good job with what we have. And, in terms of Castle to Coast, it's pretty fixed amount because we're running right along the coast there, Highway 1. And
getting the ocean breezes.
Yeah, getting those ocean breezes. It's probably the most popular race on the Central Coast. I don't know any others that sell out in a day, and ours does. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, thank you very much, and look forward to another great event with the City to Sea coming up on October 11th. That does it for Cuesta Sports Monthly this month. We'd like to thank Coach Brian Locher, Daci, Hughes, and Tara Salizar from women's water polo, Eric Marsh and Aidan Feigel from men's water polo. And on behalf of the Cuesta athletic teams and the Cuesta broadcasting class, we'd like to see you next time here on Cuesta Sports Monthly.